during 2018, the Global Embassy of Activists for Peace, with the support of its volunteers, implemented initiatives and generated actions aimed at fulfilling the institutional mission of achieving the improvement, well-being, happiness, and integral peace of the human family and of Mother Earth. The educational program, Educating to Remember, more than 1,300 volunteers were trained in 11 countries in Latin America and in Spain to develop educational workshops with secondary and high school students under the topic, Educating to Remember, the Holocaust, Paradigm of Genocide, which promotes the teaching of principles and values under reflection and practice of respectful actions toward human dignity and the defense of human rights.
Todos los seres humanos nacen libres e iguales en dignidad y derechos.
With the support and endorsement of the local, departmental, state, and national governments, 3,665 workshops were held in 633 schools, positively impacting 140,950 students and 3,782 teachers.
My proposal for change is to create an awareness method for the community, because we're the only ones that have that power to change our lives and the lives of others.
The purpose of the project is concrete, with the execution of peace proposals raised by the students, and that allows them to reach the externalization of values through experimental experiences. With this action, 240,700 people have been reached in Bolivia, Colombia, Chile, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Peru, the Dominican Republic, and Paraguay.
The approval of the project Educating to Remember, the Holocaust, Paradigm of Genocide.
In the latter country, the approval of law number 6.138 of 2018 was achieved. Educating to Remember, the Holocaust, Paradigm of Genocide, an initiative of the Global Embassy of Activists for Peace. Integral program, Life is in the Blood. 18 countries have multiplied their efforts for a culture of voluntary, altruistic, and habitual donation of safe blood. In the three fields of action that make up the program, important results were obtained, which are reflected in 175,463 effective units obtained in 3,875 days of blood donation, and in which 5,247,788 people were sensitized. With this work, Ecuador increased the effective blood units obtained by 119.04% when comparing it to 2017. The PEC Life facilitators in 14 countries trained 5,812 people through family education sessions and sensitized 78,120 members of different churches about the importance of voluntary blood donation. 16,323 people from the community level received the educational sessions, and 575 leaders from the communities received the awareness talks to cooperate in the formation of the voluntary blood donation culture. This year, 13,395 employees of companies and 46 managers were trained, thus strengthening individual and corporate social responsibility. 326,938 students at preschool, primary, secondary, and university levels were trained in the voluntary culture of blood donation, while 7,986 teachers received awareness talks about this act of love to save the lives of thousands of people. In this sense, 1,504 communities, 573 companies, 9,301 educational institutions, and 4,774 families were visited. With this initiative, Bolivia exceeded the goal of having 1% of its population have a culture of voluntary, altruistic, and regular donation of safe blood. On the other hand, the law for a culture of voluntary blood donation was accepted in Mexico by modifying the general health law. In Colombia, the initiative is in the second debate for approval, while in Bolivia, the proposal is in the process of revision. This year, more than 483 institutions supported the volunteer work of the program in The Life is in the Blood at the international level. Environmental program Children of Mother Earth. With the commitment of the GEAP and the other sectors of civil society to protect planet Earth, the Children of Mother Earth program has trained 4,406 volunteers and 8,853 guardians for the peace of Mother Earth in Latin America, the United States, and Spain. Environmental activism has been reinforced with the completion of 472 environmental awareness workshops and activities, and in 136 international ecological events. In April, environmental proposals for government and environmental justice were presented before the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues at the UN headquarters in New York. In June, the GEAP led the International Coalition for the Inter-American Environmental Charter and the Proclamation of the Rights of Mother Earth before the 48th OAS General Assembly in Washington. This coalition is being supported so far with the collection of 776,518 citizen signatures and by more than 793 official documents of mayors and governors of the Americas that adopt these environmental proposals, and the implementation of educational policies and plans to disseminate them. The business, academic, and social sectors and indigenous peoples and nations are joining with official manifestos, and recently, the Federation of Green Parties of the Americas proclaimed their full support of these proposals to protect planet Earth. Corporate Intervention Program, CSR, for Sustainable Development. This year, the implementation of strategies and actions that promote and strengthen corporate social responsibility based on principles and values began in 11 countries. As an effective tool in the achievement of overcoming peace and the integral happiness of the human being among all agents involved in the economic chains of society.
This responsibility must be translated into integral well-being, and the way to achieve it is by enriching the vision and the development projects through that responsibility that we must have with the environment. That is nothing other than having responsibility with the lives of people, with all living beings.
The socialization of the program was carried out in 852 companies and associations, thanks to the voluntary work of 1,368 activists. There were also 9 business meetings in Colombia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Mexico, and Venezuela, as a space to develop the objectives of Arce Paz, the strengthening of relationships between entrepreneurs and the generation of knowledge in CSR. Currently, 71 companies are linked to the Alliance for CSR, and 81 have expressed their support for the Inter-American Environmental Charter. In other actions, several of the companies linked to Arce Paz have initiated the development of activities linked to the GEAP programs, especially with Children of Mother Earth and Life is in the Blood.
Our commitment to peace, to our environment, to the environment.
International Alliance of Universities for Peace. The network of institutions and professionals that promote the culture of peace and human rights through the culture of peace and universal values adds 152 new institutions and 16 professors in 2018. GEAP currently has 341 allied universities and 66 professors that has signed alliance agreements in their commitment to a paradigm shift in 21st century higher education. the international launch and delivery of the Chair for Peace and Happiness of the Integral Human Being took place in Mexico during the International Assembly of Members of the ALIUP before 213 representatives and 61 institutions.
The link between education and peace we intuitively accept as fundamental, and it is.
Y sí lo es.
The power of music for the peace and happiness of the integral human being. It is a social work that brings joy, harmony, and love to the hearts of children, youth, adults, and the elderly. OSEMAP in Venezuela, Bolivia, Mexico, and Colombia visited hospitals and homes for children and the elderly to contribute the recovery process of more than 5,600 people by using music to teach principles and values to strengthen peace in their lives. Launch of new projects for the construction of integral peace. This year, the GEAP carried out the launching of the global youth movement of the GEAP and the relaunching of the Project Justice Foundation for Peace and Happiness, which it seeks to strengthen justice and promote respect for human rights. Paz. The Peace Integration Summit is the scenario of convergence for world leaders, which, in its fourth edition, managed to add the support of 1,200 authorities and representatives from all spheres of society, who, with their knowledge, proposals, and experiences, contributed to the construction of the peace of the integral human being and of the nations. '18 was a year of great goals, but also of important achievements. A year that marked the beginning of new challenges and the commitment to continue working tirelessly in the implementation of a culture of peace that will benefit the entire human family and planet Earth.